Hey, everybody. This is Brian Kapple. I'm your Athens, Ohio realtor. I'm with the Athens, Ohio Real Estate Company. Hey, thank you for joining us today. Welcome back to the channel. So today we're taking a closer look at exactly, what are some of the negatives for real estate wholesaling in Ohio, especially if you're a seller, and are these a good thing for sellers? Okay. So, when it comes to assignment of contract sales, which that's what wholesaling is, wholesaling can be a lucrative strategy, but it's not without its downsides. So stick around. We're going to break down the risks, challenges, and ethical concerns that come with this investment strategy. So the biggest one is a lack of transparency. One of the biggest issues with real estate wholesaling is a lack of transparency. Sellers often do not fully understand what wholesalers do, what they are. Wholesalers may position themselves as buyers, but rarely disclose that they don't plan to purchase the property themselves. Many sellers are motivated by financial hardship or other pressure, making them vulnerable to offers that sound too good to be true. This lack of clarity can create distrust, harm the seller's best interests, and damage the reputation of wholesalers as a whole. And look, there are brokers that are wholesalers. They have the ethics. They are more likely belong to National Association of Realtors, NAR. But selfishly, I'm more worried about the profession of realtors, because sometimes there's overlap, and sellers think there are connections, but there's no connections at all, typically, between an unlicensed wholesaler and a licensed or a licensee for the state of Ohio, to help in real estate transactions. Ethical concerns. Ethical concerns are another major downside of wholesaling, especially in Ohio. Some wholesalers engage in practices that border on deceptive, such as overpromising, telling sellers that the deal will close quickly, stuff like that. Lowballing sellers, offering unrealistically low prices that do not reflect fair market value, and abandoning deals, which is just walking away if they can't find a buyer. That leaves sellers in a worse position than they were to begin with. So practices not only hurt sellers, but it also can lead to possible legal issues for these wholesalers. Legal risks in Ohio. So Ohio has strict laws regarding real estate transactions, and wholesaling can walk a really fine line on that. Okay. Brokering without a license. In Ohio, if you market property you do not own or act as a middleman without being a licensed real estate agent, you can be in violation of real estate laws. And that's a criminal violation in Ohio Revised Code, and it's also in the Ohio Administrative Code. Improper contracts. Contracts must include assignment clauses. Without proper language, you could lose a deal or face lawsuits from sellers or buyers. And then disclosure requirements. Failing to disclose your role as a wholesaler could be seen as fraudulent. Could be. Doesn't mean it is. It could be. Okay. Sellers and buyers have the right to know your intentions up front. Reputation challenges. Another downside is the potential for a damaged reputation. Real estate wholesaling often gets a bad rap because of unethical players in the market. And look, I'm not going to pick on just, for this bullet point, real estate wholesalers. Police officers, you know what? A couple bad ones doesn't mean the whole group's bad. Real estate licensees in Ohio, there's some bad ones. There's some lost their license. A lot have been fined, but it doesn't mean that we're all bad. All right. So, I mean, I'm wanting to, on my side, walk the fine line of not completely hammering down these wholesalers. I just want you to be aware of some of the tactics that are used, right? So, sellers may associate wholesalers with predatory practices, making it harder for honest wholesalers to gain trust. Investors may also avoid working with wholesalers they view as inexperienced or unreliable, especially if deals frequently fall through. And look, just right up front, I will know typically within 2 minutes of a phone call if somebody is a wholesaler that can't sell the property that they did an assignment for, and now they are looking at listing it with a seller's agent. It is easy to figure that out pretty quick. I won't do it because it can be a rolling dumpster fire, hot mess of problems. I will walk away from that. So another issue, they have challenges finding deals. It's a competitive market, high competition, limited inventory, market knowledge. That one's a biggie, a big one. Financial risks, like everything else, there's the financial risks. So while this does not require large upfront capital, you'll still need money for marketing, earnest money, deposits, and legal contracts. So if the deal falls through or you can't find buyers, you end up losing time and money. So there you have it. There's the negatives of real estate wholesaling in Ohio. So while it can be a great strategy for some, it's important to understand the risks and challenges before diving in, especially if somebody approaches you in this context and is wanting to buy property from you. This is such a contentious issue right now. And on the share screen, it's been up since I started, is Ohio Senate Bill 192. It was introduced, I think, in November of 2023. And the breakdown on this is they're expanding the scope of activities for which a real estate broker's license is required. It will require, hopefully, that real estate wholesalers who enter into purchase contracts with residential property with the intent to assign or navigate the contract to another property, they make certain disclosures of the property known to potential buyers. That's something we already do. It's a required law. Any house I list has to have a residential property disclosure. There are exemptions. If it's conveyance of a will, if it's a REO, which is a foreclosure, different things, right? Even then, though, there is an exemption, okay, that you sign and say that that property is exempt. Even if you buy vacant land, technically, there's an exemption form to sign that, hey, this is vacant land. It's exempt from, any property disclosures. So anyway, with this Senate bill, I think it's a good one. I just saw, I don't know if it was in this one or not, that it was just had its second reading in like about a week ago, maybe last week. So that's good that they're still navigating it. Unfortunately, it takes so long to go through it. And like I said, right, I'm sure there's some wholesalers out there, especially on the licensed brokerage side. There's probably some out there that do a bang up job and are straightforward and do what is ethically right. But given that there's really no punishment for not following any ethics or anything like that, sometimes it's a lot easier for people to just not do sometimes what might be the right thing. So listen, if you're approached by somebody and you already talked to them and they're not a licensed real estate agent, but they have asked you about selling your property or an assignment contract, and it's a low ball offer and it's below fair market value, think about it. If you have any real estate friends or family, talk to them about it. Just be informed. So I'm going to button this up. I'm going into 8 minutes. That's 3 minutes more than I wanted to go. This is Brian Kapple. I'm with the Athens Real Estate Company. If you have any questions on buying or selling or anything like that, let me know. And we'll work through the questions and hopefully I'll be able to help you out. So thanks everybody. If you like the video, make sure you like and subscribe to it. Tell your friends about it. That made me real happy. So hope everybody has a safe day. Thanks so much.